Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator Podcast. I'm your host, Dana. And today on our Monday Reality Roundup, we are talking about Southern Charm, Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of Miami, 90 Day Fiance, and Southern Hospitality. So happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone had a great week. It was the holidays, and then we have another week of holidays this week. So we have not had our regularly scheduled Bravo programming, that's for sure. And I apologize that today's episode is not video with my face. Yes, I am uploading it to YouTube today if you want to watch the black screen, but there's no video of my face today, even though reality roundups are supposed to be video. And I'm sorry, guys, just my skin is so bad. I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. Like, I'm sure some of you have bad skin too and deal with this. It is such a nightmare for me to have to be on video, not for this podcast, but for just things in general. Like at my last job, I had to be on video every single day. They had meetings every single day. And I feel like my skin never gets the chance to recuperate because I'm constantly putting makeup on, you know what I mean? And I just really want it to have some time to heal. That being said, it has just gotten like so much worse. But like, I figured, you know what? Today is actually going to be somewhat of a shorter episode because there just wasn't a lot of news this week. And I think it's because, you know, it's the holidays. The Bravo Labs and the rest of our reality stars are taking it easy over the holidays, or we hope that they are. And so there just isn't that much crazy stuff going on out there. So because it's a shorter episode today, I felt like I'm not going to torture myself by filling my face with makeup and making my skin hurt and then trying to have to take it all off and everything. So happy Monday, guys. I hope you had the most amazing holiday. I don't know if you guys have New Year's plans coming up. New Year's was never really a thing that I really do. Like, there were definitely years where I went to like parties and stuff, but I swear, I feel like for the last, I don't know, maybe 5 or so years, I just go to bed at my normal time. I don't even wait up till midnight. And maybe the 5 years prior to that, I'd like spend it with a friend or something, stay up till midnight, and then go home at midnight, right? It was just like making it till midnight. But yeah, at my old age, I definitely am not doing anything crazy. But just to remind you guys of the schedule this week. So today, obviously, we have our Monday reality roundup. Tomorrow is 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Wednesday is for the Patreon babies. We are doing a Vanderpump Rules rewatch from the beginning. Thursday, I will be joined by our friend Ryan Bailey to cover this week's very new episodes of Vanderpump Rules and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So that's Thursday on New Year's Day. And then on Friday, well, it doesn't seem like we're going to have new Beverly Hills or new Southern Charm this week. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm definitely going to put an episode out. I was considering doing like a rewatch of something else. Maybe like I'll pick a random RHONJ episode and rewatch that. Why don't you guys send me a DM and let me know like what kind of like special episode I could do? I could do a recap of anything. I could talk about anything. We could just make it a cool, fun day. So that's what we'll do. But let's get into our topics today. And like I said, it's not a lot, but we'll start with Southern Charm. And do you guys remember Naomi Olindo? So she is Craig Conover's ex-girlfriend. Well, she just got engaged to her boyfriend, Billy Hare. So she's so excited. She's calling herself the luckiest girl in the world. Now, Billy Hare is the ex-boyfriend of Brooks Nader. I don't know if you guys are super familiar with her and her family. They just had a new reality show come out a few months back called Love Thy Nader. And it's about like their family. So it's like the four girls and they're all models and then their parents. But I think they're from a place, they're from the Bayou, but I think they were very conservative growing up. It's very much like a Kardashian type show. And it doesn't take a lot of brain power to watch it. I liked it. It was a good like background show to have in the back. So it's interesting because Brooks Nader was recently on Watch What Happens Live. Who was she with? Oh, Erica Jane. And Andy Cohen asked her what she thought of her possibly dating Craig Conover, because how funny of a crossover would that be? And she's like, I have no idea who that is. And it's like, you don't know who your ex-husband's new girlfriend's ex-boyfriend is, or maybe not. I don't really know, but really happy for Naomi. That's so exciting. He's 39 years old. Let me see if they had like a little announcement. I believe that they did post an announcement. It just says luckiest girl in the whole wide world. That's it. That's their whole announcement. So she posted a series of photos of him getting down on one knee and popping the question. And she's like covering her hands over her mouth. And, you know, it's the best. Good for her. Even Taylor Ann Green wrote in the comments, congratulations to the sweetest human. Good for her. Congrats. I Her time with Craig was an interesting time. I mean, I really thought that they were meant to be together for a period of time, but over time they really did start to resent each other. There was even a period of time where there was something that he did that was amazing. And I think it was like actually passing the bar, actually graduating law school or something. And she wasn't even happy for him. And I it was really rude and mean, actually, the way that she spoke to him in that moment. I don't remember exactly what was said, but I remember her being like kind of cruel. And then I thought to myself, at this point in their relationship, she is just so far gone because she has built up so much resentment for him for the fact that he never fucking did anything. Like, remember that the quote, like, what's wrong with my sewing comes from her because she was like, you just like sit around and pretend to do things. Because at that point in Craig's life, he wasn't doing much, right? He was lying about law school. He did not have his life together whatsoever. And Naomi was really frustrated. And Craig's defense to her was like, this is the life we've been living. We've been going on trips. We've been doing all these fun things. And she's like, okay, great. But now it's real life time. Now it's time to settle down and do adulting things, right? We need to get jobs and like start a real life. And that was completely reasonable, but he wasn't there. And it's so funny that he is now, and he wanted that so incredibly badly with Paige, right? Like now he's the Martha Stewart, and now he wants like this cookie cutter life. But at the time that Naomi wanted it, he just wasn't ready. So I'm glad that Naomi found someone. And I know that her and Craig are in a great place because we've seen them post together at weddings and do silly TikToks about like the where's my sewing thing. So, and I love that he capitalized on that too, right? I mean, he is the one that said it as opposed to high body count hair because Brittany didn't say it, Angie did. But, what's wrong with my sewing became like his tagline for his store. So good for everyone. All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So the Giudices and the Gorgas ended up spending Christmas together, which is a Christmas miracle, right? They posted a series of photos. Everybody looks so happy. You've got the cousins, you've got Louie, Teresa, Melissa, Joe. Everyone's there. And I'm like, okay. Like, first, I'm like, okay. I mean, of all things, yes, they should be spending Christmas together. But then they had like Teresa try Melissa's sprinkle cookies. And like the whole gimmicky stuff of this is just, it's making me question whether this is real. Like, I know this is what we all wanted. So I know I feel like I'm just being negative to be negative, but I'm sorry, when you guys were at odds for so long, it sort of just feels like they came to the realization that no one's going to be on the show if they can't figure their shit out. And so they decided that, like, oh my God, everybody's paychecks are at stake. And so we have to make nice. That's what it feels like. I'm sorry. It doesn't feel genuine because if it was genuine, why didn't it happen a long time ago? I mean, all of the fights that they've always had, to be honest, have always felt so petty and so stupid. And like, if Teresa, even the Gorgas, even if all of these people claim that they love family so much and family's the most important, then they're the people that you should be able to work it out with the most, right? I know that you have, what's the word? Like the greater expectations of family than you do for friends, but there also needs to be more forgiveness when it comes to family, right? Like, for example, my mom's a narcissist, as we all know, and we are not speaking, as we all know. But have we gotten in a million fights in our life and have I forgiven her a million times? Sure, because she's my mom. I mean, it came to a point where I couldn't anymore, but for them, it was never that deep. It was never that serious. And it's sad that it took this long to get there. I'm happy that they're there, but I just don't truly believe it's genuine. And I know that everyone, including Andy Cohen, said, like, great, and I hope that they keep it up, but I don't want to see them fighting on the show. Right, right, because we saw that for years and we don't want to see that. But then do we want to see them just being happy together on the show? Like, I don't know that we want that either. Like, I don't want to see them spending Christmas together, smiling, laughing, being happy, trying each other's cookies, and just there being no strife at all. I don't know what I want, you guys. Now I'm confused because, as the Bravo fandom, we can be very fickle, right? We can be very picky. We can be very hypocritical. And I will definitely say I'm not somebody who was super invested in what was going on with New Jersey, especially as it started to just get so bad. It was really hard to still be super invested. But at the same time, like, it was one of my favorite franchises. It's one of the ones that I can watch from the beginning over and over again. So I would hate to see it go, but I feel like it almost feels like they were threatened at gunpoint. I really feel like this. To see Teresa try Melissa Sprinkle cookies makes me feel like everyone has a gun next to their head that is not in the photos. It really feels like that. Like Guns by Bravo, just being like, get together, smile, make it nice, or you guys don't get to be on television. That's just sort of what it's feeling like. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I'm super curious of whether you guys think this whole reunion is genuine or not. And if it is, what do you want to see for future seasons between the Gorgas and the Giudices? Okay, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Miami, and we have a Christmas miracle. Todd Nepola is dropping his lawsuit against Bravo. Well, brava, Todd, brava. And you know what? I don't know why, but I think that is a really great idea because Todd, that was dumb to begin with for so many reasons. One, does anyone actually win against Bravo? Like, that is a big endeavor, right? And if you really feel like you are harmed by an organization, I'm not against lawsuits, right? Like, have at it, go for it. But like the things that he's upset about and all of these men are upset about, just to me, always just seems so stupid and trivial. You don't like the way that you were portrayed? Boo fucking who? I have to tell you that nobody thinks about you, so don't even worry about it. Like the whole John Jansen thing. I'm sure I equated Todd Nepola to John Jansen at the time because nobody is thinking about your reputation or who you are as a person. This is not affecting your work. No one is thinking about you, okay? Nobody cares about you. Nobody remembers that you were on this show. And Todd, of all people, is the one who really tries to put himself in the limelight. Not even limelight, but like he was the one doing like those 10-minute long Instagram like videos, right? Where he's just like talking to people all the time, or like that 10-minute long apology that he did to Nicole's husband. Like, stay out of the limelight and then you won't get yourself in trouble. You know what I mean? A lot of the cast members think that Todd did want to be on the show and he did want that sort of limelight, but maybe this is all just about the way he was portrayed and he doesn't like that. And it's like, well, boo fucking who, men, right? I feel like every man on the show, except for the New Jersey men who fucking love it, they end up getting butthurt over how they're portrayed. Listen, editing is a thing, but at the same time, they can't like make up stuff that you're saying. And if you are a shitty man, that will come up on screen. And I'm sorry, Todd, last season you were a shitty fucking man. Actually, in many seasons you were. I mean, we didn't even get to see it, but the fact that you left Alexia in the middle of the night or whatever it was while Frankie was home and watched you do it, that is so fucked up. And if Bravo cannot portray that in a positive light, that is not Bravo's fault. The other reason I'm glad that he dropped this lawsuit is for Alexia's sake, because I don't know if they are back together, but they are always breaking up and getting back together. Like literally, who knows? And for that sake, I'm glad that he dropped it because they can't genuinely get back together. I mean, I'm not saying this is something I want, right? Like, obviously, they should not be together. But we have seen Alexia and Todd get back together over and over and over again over the past, I don't know, 6 months. So for that sake, I'm glad that he dropped it because how could they possibly have an actual future if he's suing her employer, right? That doesn't really make any sense. Okay, let's move on to some happy 90 Day Fiance news. So if you guys remember Chantel from the Family Chantel, Chantel was originally with Pedro. So she met Pedro in the Dominican Republic. I think she met him there on vacation. And they were originally on 90 Day Fiance together years ago. Oh my God. I want to feel like I say 7 years ago. It really feels that long. And, you know, they were young and in love and they were really genuine. And Chantel did not tell her family that Pedro was coming here on a K-1 visa and that they needed to get married within a short span of time. So they ended up having to get married at like the last possible second. Her family did show up, but the whole thing was such a clusterfuck because of the like how I don't want to call it unorganized, but how like stressed Chantel was about like having to do all of this and whether her family would support her and that kind of thing. So she only almost did it without her family. Now, here's the thing about the Family Chantel. And the reason I call them that is because that is what Pedro used to call them because of his accent. And they ended up getting their own spin-off show called The Family Chantel. So that's why I'm saying that. But, you know, the Family Chantel is a little bit odd as well. So the mother, Karen, I mean, she has always been convinced that Pedro was a scammer and was coming here for a green card. But she was such a, I don't know. She was just like such a wild card of a person. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like at the last reunion, she literally danced around the stage with like a cape on, trying to mimic a witch. Like this woman is just like really out there. And I don't know if it's her actual personality because she definitely got a lot of attention being herself on the show. Oh my God, there were some things that she used to say that were so ridiculous. I'm trying to remember. Like they weren't proper English, and that's why it was so funny. I forget. I forget. But like, oh, if you guys remember any of the classic Karen moments, please remind me. But that also made Chantel's relationship with Pedro difficult. They ended up being together quite a while. Chantel was working as a nurse and finishing nursing school, and Pedro couldn't work for a certain amount of time. Then he eventually is able to work and he gets a job as a real estate agent. And he ends up really making friends with everyone that he works with in the office. And he starts to really enjoy his life. Because before that, I mean, there is that struggle that we see on 90 Day Fiance where the person who is coming from another country can't work. The person who is from the US is the caretaker, is everything. And then there's this almost like automatic infantilization of the partner who is not from the US because they have to rely on their partner from the US for absolutely everything, even financially, right? So when Pedro was able to finally go out there and do his own thing and make his own money and make his own friends, I think he felt a lot happier. And I think they had really struggled in their relationship for a really long time because of all of the, just regular life trials and tribulations that they had to go through. Like, I think Chantel ended up failing a year of school and had to do it again. And the longer that she was in school was like the longer that Pedro couldn't work or something like that, or his papers didn't get filed on time. And that meant that he couldn't work, things like that. They just went through like a lot of little things that prevented them from getting to where they needed to be in life. And when they finally got there, you would think that that's when they would be their happiest together. But no, because like I said, Pedro's really happy in his job. Chantel is doing her thing, but apparently she's going on vacation a lot. And it's like, all right, I still never really understood this issue, but this apparently was a big issue for Pedro. She went on vacation a lot and she never cleaned the house. And this is what ended up tearing them apart. It was kind of wild to watch the way that Pedro would come at her for this. Now, I'm sure that there were greater things than this. Obviously, there always are. It can't just be about like vacations and cleaning. But the fire in his eyes and the passion, like the hatred that he had in his eyes when he would talk to her about these two issues was crazy to me. Like it was a real anger and real resentment. And then Chantel started feeling like she wasn't a real part of his life. And so she really wanted to start spending time with him when he would hang out with his work friends. And he didn't want her to. So one day she showed up to one of his like work hang events. And he, like, I know that he didn't want her to, but once she's there, I mean, like, she's your wife, right? Like, introduce her to people. He was so incredibly rude to her. He looked at her like she was disgusting, like she was not his wife. He basically told her to get the fuck out of there. It was so hard to watch. And then their divorce just sort of spiraled from there. And like, the reason I'm talking about this in such detail is because it's one of the very first and only times I've seen a couple go from like real, true, pure love to wild hatred. And it's just so crazy what a divorce can do to people because like once it got started, they just started like coming at each other and it just started being like, who could do worse? Like Chantel, I think, took all of the money out of their joint bank account. She took all of his like papers and like he needs those papers. So like things like that, like then he's calling, I think like he ended up trying to call the police on her. When it starts to get like crazy like that, and it started getting that crazy, I'm telling you, within like minutes, right? There's no coming back from it. So we ended up getting like one more season of the Family Chantel. I think that they did like 2 or 3 seasons in total. I think there was 1 or 2 seasons where Chantel and Pedro were actually together, and then one season where they weren't. And then Chantel went on to do that show Hunt for Love, which was, they had like a bunch of 90 Day people and then a bunch of like randoms and brought them to like an island to meet like other people and to see if they'll fall in love. But Chantel had just been told by her friend Ashley that she was in love with her. Now, Chantel has always been interested in men, and so she went ahead and did the Hunt for Love, but she kept thinking about Ashley. So she goes home and she tells Ashley that she wants to be with her. So our news of today, because I'm finally getting there, is that Chantel and Ashley are engaged. So congratulations to Chantel and Ashley. I'm so happy for her. I mean, who knew, right? That's just so crazy. I'm just so happy that she found her love, right? And if it's not with a man and if it's with a woman, then all the fucking power to her. I'm just so happy that she's found love at the end of it. Chantel was never like a listen, she must be smart because she's a nurse, but she comes off a little like airheadish type of person. But, she's always been very kind to people. She's always been a sweet person. And for all those reasons, I think she deserves love. And for the fact that she went through like this really contentious divorce and that she's been trying to find love for so many years on so many shows, I'm just happy that she's found it. Now, the same week, Pedro debuted a new girlfriend. We don't have a name or anything, but she's blonde and white. And I don't know, good for him. As long as he's happy, that's great for them. Now, another part of the family Chantel is Chantel's sister Winter. Now, Chantel's sister Winter has been with the same guy for a really long time. And on the family Chantel, we found out that her boyfriend has another kid. So Winter knew that he had one kid, but then we find out that he has like one or two more. I don't quite remember, but it was wild because they had literally been together for like 7 years. And I don't think we ever got a good explanation as to like why he lied. It was so crazy. Then Winter goes through this crazy weight loss transformation. Good for her. And she has just announced today that she's having a baby. So this is so exciting for her. They are having a baby in 2026. Merry Christmas from me and mine to you and all. So very exciting for the family Chantel. Lots of great things for them coming forward. And our last story of the day is Southern hospitality. So our friend Grace Lilly, who we fucking love, just got arrested. Like I just found this out right now. It's Monday morning. Grace Elizabeth Lilly was booked in Charleston County, South Carolina for harassment in the second degree. And this is from December 29th. So I don't know what she was booked for harassment. I mean, I don't have any of the details yet. This literally just came out. I will say she looks very, very cute in her photo. Okay. Like if you are going to have a mugshot and you end up getting to look cute in it, you know, you're winning a little bit in life. Okay. Just a little bit. So harassment. God, I'm worried that this has to do with drinking, and this may have been something that came out of a night of drinking. I don't know if she got in a fight with someone and then they pressed charges against her. I don't really know, but I just hope that Grace Lilly is okay. We didn't get a lot of her in the last season. She wasn't working at Republic anymore, and she was sort of trying to figure out her life. And I love when people are trying to figure out their life, like, do you? But I hate when I hear that and then we find out that, something bad happened to the person like this, right? So I wish the best for Grace Lilly, especially with this happening around Christmas time. I feel like there's always a time during Christmas time where one of our Bravo Loves is arrested, James Kennedy. So it is December 2025, and this year it is Grace Lilly. But I hope good things for Grace Lilly because she's such a fucking star. Okay, guys, that is actually all that we have today. I told you it would be a short episode. So until tomorrow, you can follow me on TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and my Facebook group, The Bravo Investigator. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is linked in the show notes. And I love you, BBs. I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator podcast. For more content, head over to patreon.com/the Bravo Investigator podcast. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. Love you, BBs. See you next time.